starting a YouTube channel. This is going to be my first video, and in this video I am going to talk about my experience with cancer and everything that I've gone through in the past 2 years, because a lot of people know about my situation but others don't, and I just want to get my story out there because I think it's something that should be talked about, and I just want to share my experience for others who are going through the same thing as me. So here we go. If you hear that in the back, it's my mom vacuuming, so I have to talk a little bit louder. But I am gonna first talk about how it started. In January of 2017, I was at school and I was in PE class, and we were doing some exercises, nothing too, rough. It was basic exercises, nothing too difficult. And I noticed that I was having a little bit of pain on my leg. I was like, that is weird. Like, I had never experienced that pain before. It was new, and I thought that maybe I just had pulled a muscle or something in my knee during the exercises, and that pain lasted for months. Like, it lasted for months. I am not even joking about that. It lasted for months and it did not go away at all. I told my mom about it. She just gave me ibuprofen to make the pain go away, but it didn't help. So it was a week later, and I told my mom, like, hey, I'm still having this pain. I need to be checked out, because what if something's wrong? We don't know. So she was like, okay, well, take it to the urgent care and we'll see what people have to say there. So my stepdad took me to the urgent care in Ankeny, and they took an x-ray and nothing was seen there. It was all normal. And then the doctor came in and talked to me, and he just told me to take more ibuprofen to ice it. And he looked at my knee and he said that it didn't look, it didn't look wrong, like nothing was wrong with it. So he just gave me like a wrap to put on my knee when I walked so it wouldn't hurt as much, and it did help for a while. But in March of 2017, the pain went away. It was really weird because, I was like, that's not normal. Like, you don't have pain for 2 months, and it just suddenly goes away like nothing happened. Like, that's not normal. So I remember it was spring break, and I was at a friend's house, and I noticed that my knee started hurting again. And I would limp when I walked, and it just wasn't normal. And by that time, I was on birth control. I was on the pill. I was bleeding a lot. My period wasn't normal. I told my mom, like, hey, maybe I should get on another method of birth control, go talk to a doctor. So probably like a week later, after spring break ended, we went to go see my primary doctor in Des Moines, and we talked about my period and stuff. And then I mentioned to her how, like, my knee was really hurting. Like, I told her how it was hurting for months now. The pain wasn't going away. And at this time, it was starting to swell up. Like, my knee was swollen, and it had like a weird bump. So I showed her my knee, and she was like, okay, how about you go? I'll tell, she gave us a card of where we should call. It was DeMoss in West Des Moines, and they specialize with, like, I don't know, like muscles, I guess. I don't really know what they specialize in, to be honest. But so we went to Dimas like a couple days later, and right away I was really limping around this time. Like the bump on my knee and how swollen it was making it difficult to walk. And I kept missing days in school. My friends were like, why are you missing days in school? Like, the pain can't be that bad. But anyways, when they saw my knee, they knew immediately something was wrong. So they scheduled me to have an MRI a couple days later. Okay, like a couple days later, and they gave me crutches because I was really limping. It was hard to walk, so I was just like, okay. So I had to learn how to use crutches. And around the time that I had my MRI was around the beginning of April. So I don't remember the exact date, but I know I had my MRI on a Wednesday, and when we went to Dimas, it was on a Friday. So I had my MRI on a Wednesday around like 5 p.m. So we went there. It was so bad because I could not walk. It hurt so much to walk. I limped so much, and I didn't want to use crutches because I'm like, something can't be that wrong, you know? Like, I just thought that maybe I had pulled a muscle or some liquid like spilled, I don't know, in my knee or something. I don't know. But anyways, so it was the next day on a Thursday, and I went to school, and I was in 6th period. The bell rang, and it was time for me to go to French class. And I always met my best friend, because one of my best friends, her name is Madison. We always met up before we went to French class because we had it together. And when I saw her, I was like, hey, I cannot walk. Like, my knee gave out. I cannot walk. And so we were on the 2nd floor of the school, and I was like, I need help. I have to take the elevator. I can't go down the stairs. So she helped me go down, you know, help me walk all the way to the nurse's office, and I told the nurse, like, hey, I cannot walk. My knee is hurting. It gave out. I cannot walk anymore. So she called my mom, and she came and picked me up. And then that night, I went to eat dinner, and I saw my mom. I know when my mom is crying. Like, you can, like, you know, when you see someone like who has cried, you can notice when they have cried. You know what I'm saying? Like their eyes get puffy, their nose is red. Yeah, so my mom is one of those people, and I noticed that her eyes were puffy, her nose was red, and I was like, were you crying? And she was like, no, it's just allergies. And I was like, okay. I didn't really question it because I was just like, maybe, you know, she got in a fight with my stepdad or something. I don't know. And she was just crying, didn't want to tell me about it, want me to worry about it. So I was like, okay. And then my stepdad was supposed to work overnight that night. But he came early home. Like, he got home like around 8. And then they both walked in my room looking all serious, and they were like, we need to talk. So I was like, what's going on? Like, I was freaked out. I was so nervous. Like, I was like, you know, when someone tells you that we need to talk, like, you get super duper nervous. Like, so I was just like, okay. And my mom sat down on my bed, and she was like, the results of your MRI come back. And I was like, okay, what's wrong? What's wrong with it? Like, why can I not walk? Why is my knee swollen? Why does it hurt so bad? And she was like, there's a mass in your knee. Like, I didn't really understand it at first. I was like, what's a mass? Like, what the fuck is that? And so she was like, there's a cancer tumor in your knee. And I'm like, I didn't know what to say. I was like, what is going on? What? Am I gonna die? I asked her that. That was the first thing I asked her. I was like, am I going to die? And she's like, no, you're not going to die. You know, we have to go to Iowa City tomorrow so you can have tons of scans. We're gonna talk to many doctors. And that's what happened. So it was the next day. It was a Friday. And my parents and I had to wake up early to go to Iowa City. I think we woke up like around, we had to leave like around 6. No, we probably left like around 5 or 6 a.m. Because it's a 2-hour drive or so from Ankeny to Iowa City. So we went there. I was in a wheelchair because I could not walk anymore, and it was easier to travel, you know, because that hospital is huge. Like, I could not go walking all the way around with just crutches, so I was just like, a wheelchair is gonna be easier. So, and plus when you're on crutches, it's, you walk, you know, you can't say walk, but you go at a slower rate, you know, like, you don't go as fast. So it was better if I just use a wheelchair. But anyways, I don't really remember much of that day because I was just in so much shock. I cried that night so much, and I just didn't know what to do. Like, I really thought my life was over. I did not know what to do, what was gonna happen. And so we met with my orthopedic surgeon. His name is Dr. Miller, and I do remember me talking with him. So what happened was that he said that they were gonna need to do a biopsy to see what type of cancer it was, because there's a couple different types of bone cancer, which is what they thought it was gonna be. There's sarcoma and osteosarcoma. I'm not sure if there's more, but yeah, those are the two that, you know, they were thinking that it could be. So they said they were gonna do a biopsy, and if it came back positive that it was a cancer tumor and what type of cancer it was, they would place a port, which is what this scar is from. That's what the scar is from. So I was gonna have my biopsy. It was a Friday, so I think I was gonna have my biopsy Tuesday. I'm pretty sure it was either Monday or Tuesday. So I was so nervous because, you know, they told me how I was gonna have to do rounds of chemo, and I was gonna have a big surgery and a bunch of stuff. So I had my biopsy a couple days later, and it came back that, you know, it was osteosarcoma, which is a type of bone cancer that starts in the bone, and it was stage 1. So they caught it before it spread anywhere else, because usually the place it spreads to is the lungs. So it hadn't spread there. It was just on my knee. It wasn't on my other leg or any other areas. It can also grow on the arm, like on the arms. And it wasn't there. So I got a port placed, and then we met with my oncologist. His name is Dr. Rooks, and we talked about how chemo was gonna work, how many rounds of chemo I would have before surgery, and what was gonna happen. You know, he told me how I was gonna lose my hair, and how you know, after a couple, like usually after the first round of chemo, he said that the pain in my knee would go away, and that eventually the swelling would go down because it would be killing the tumor, and so it was going to be decreasing in size. So we talked about that. I was put on narcotics. I think they first put me on hydros, and then I think they changed it to oxycodone. But yeah, because the pain was so bad, I cannot describe how painful it was. Like, it was the most painful thing I've ever felt. Like, I do not wish anyone to go through what I went through with that pain, especially for 4 months, 3 to 4 months, because it was so painful and it was just so bad. It hurt so much. But anyways, you know, we told the school about what was going on, and they were really cool with it. They were really helpful. They told me that I did not have to. It was April when we found out about everything, and school would get out in May. So they were like, you don't have to do any more school. You're good with, you know, your grades are good. You're gonna be left with what you have. So that's what happened. So that was amazing. And what else did my doctor talk about? He talked about how I could have infertility issues with if I started chemotherapy, and if I wanted to do anything and like freeze my eggs. But I was just like, I want to start chemo, you know, I don't, you know, I don't want to waste any more time. I want to start it, I want to do it, and just get this over with. So that's what we did. I started chemo May 1st. I still remember May 1st of 2017. That was the first day I started chemo. And what I did, I had really long hair. I had hair that was down to my waist. And what I did, I was like, you know, I was gonna lose my hair. So I was like, what could I do, you know, with my hair? So I decided to cut it up to here. I cut it myself, and then I decided to get a little trim to fix it because it was kind of like bad. I fucked it up a little bit. So yeah, it was up to here. I'll probably insert some pictures. And I also recorded a video of me cutting my hair. So maybe I'll include that if I can. I'm still getting new to this editing thing. But anyways, so yeah. I was looking back and I do not have the video. So yeah, I'm sorry. Oops. So anyways, I was in the hospital Monday. I started chemo on a Monday. It was May 1st of 2017, and I got out Wednesday, May 3rd. And so I don't remember all the names of the chemo drugs I was on. I only remember one, which was doxorubicin. I was in the hospital, not, you know, for too long, but I really don't remember much. I felt very sleepy. I was sleeping a lot. I was just so knocked out from, you know, all the drugs that were new to my body. And shortly after that, my appetite changed. I did not have an appetite. And then I felt very nauseous. Smoothies became my best friend because it was the only thing that I would like to, you know, and crackers. They were the only things that I wanted to eat. So, I remember going home, and I would have a 2-week break after that, and then I would start chemo. I would usually do like 3 weeks in a row of chemo, and it would be like that. I would have 3 weeks in a row. It was at first one round of chemo, and then 2 weeks off, and then I would have the same chemo for 2 days. Then I would go home, and then I would do another round of chemo, another drug for 1 week, and then the other week. So it's very confusing to explain, but you know, they told me that my hair would start falling out usually like 2 weeks after I started chemo. And I remember you know, seeing my hair fall out everywhere. It was on my pillow, it was on the floor, it was when I went, you know, showered, it was everywhere. And I was just so tired of it. And I asked my mom, like, hey, I need you to, you know, shave my head. I did not want to go somewhere to get it shaved. I wanted my mom to do it because I just thought it would be, you know, more meaningful and I would remember it like that. So I did not cry, she did, but I was just so relieved to have my, you know, my head shaved. It felt so good I took a bath after and it just felt amazing. It was, there's a lot of benefits to being bald. I mean, if it were my choice I wouldn't be bald, but there are some good things that come out of it. So yeah, I just did very rough rounds of chemo for 2 months, and then I had my surgery in July of 2017, my big surgery, my big knee surgery. So my doctor said that, you know, I had scans, MRIs, you know, PET scans, and they saw that the tumor was more than 90% dead, which is what they wanted, and that was great. So I responded great to the chemo. And then after that, I don't remember the exact date I had my surgery, but I was in it was in Iowa City. So I was in the hospital. My surgery was on, I think it was on a Friday, and I got out Wednesday. So what they did in my surgery was they removed the tumor, and then they took out my knee and part of my femur. So what I have now is a knee replacement. My left knee is metal. I have a big scar that goes all the way to the middle of my femur down to like the bottom of my knee. So all of that is metal. And then after that they told me I had to do more chemo, which was not good, but it wouldn't be as rough. I would have more breaks and the doses would be lowered. And that went on until I finished chemo in January. But some things happened, but I don't want to make this video any longer than it has to be, so I will make a part 2 on my relapse and what is currently going on with my cancer. So yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. I know this video might be a little longer than I expected it to be, but it is my first video and I just wanted to share my story of my cancer and how it all started and what went on. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Subscribe and leave a like. Yeah, I feel so weird saying that, but yeah, anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.